Beautiful. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to this segment of broadcast on Apex One Radio, whatever time it is at your own corner of the world, and from wherever you are watching us live on Apex One Radio. It's Saturday, the 13th of September 2025. We are halfway gone into the ninth month of the 2025th year after the birth of Christ. My name is Ernest. Kanjo. Marcel Adig is the producer of this segment of broadcast on Apex One Radio, and today I am accompanied by Danlette Washington, who is our reporter on the field. And so, as you must have noticed, we are going to have a live coverage of the 10th anniversary of the Business for Peace Community Development Foundation. It is an organization that caters for the needs of women and girls. Created in Liberia in 2015, and in 2025 it marks its 10th anniversary. And so that event will be celebrated here in the United States of America, precisely at the east side of Columbus, precisely the city of Reynoldsburg, from where our reporter is already on standby, and we will be joining her shortly for the start of this live event. But just to tell you that the world today continues to grow more complex and more challenging, and the global economy struggles to find its balance. Moral standards seem to be slipping, and suffering, poverty, and disease remain with us. At the same time, technology is raising ahead, evolving at a very fast rate, bringing with it good, the bad, and of course, the ugly. Amid all of this, one truth remains clear: women play a vital role in shaping our future. And so, from history to today, women have been a power force to reckon with, socially, economically, and community development wise. Whether keeping the family together, nurturing children, farming, cooking, or working tirelessly to provide, women's resilience shines across cultures. In the Western world, for example, women balance careers, pay bills, and handle countless responsibilities, always with strength, kindness, and determination. And in this global effort, women's organizations continue to lead the way. One of such organizations is the Business for Peace Community Foundation, B4P Code Found, as its acronym is known. Founded 10 years ago, Business for Peace Community Foundation, Community Development Foundation, has stood the test of time. It has worked tirelessly to amplify the voices of women and girls, helping them gain access to resources and tools they need for social justice, economic activities, community cohesion, and of course, financial independence. And so, like we said, today the organization celebrates its 10th anniversary. The event is currently taking place at Reynoldsburg, precisely at 1200 Wagoner Road. And our reporter will be joining us shortly. Washington Danlette has been there since the start of that event a couple of minutes ago, and she'll be providing us with information on what has been going on. At exactly 16 minutes past 7, let us move over to Reynoldsburg, where Danlette Washington is on standby to provide us at least with the first segment of information from that end. Danlette Washington, good evening. How are you doing? Welcome to the program.
Doing well. I'm excited to be here at the Business for Peace Community Development Foundation 10th anniversary celebration.
Beautiful. So, like I said, that organization is celebrating its 10th anniversary in conjunction with Columbus Women Connect. So it's exactly 16 minutes past 7, Danlette. So has the event begun? First of all,
Yeah.
could you describe the venue, describe where you are, how convenient it is for such an event, then tell us about the attendance so far.
Yes. The event has just started in I'm in Reynoldsburg where they are having it. Um, it's 1200 Rockingham Road in Reynoldsburg, Ohio. It's well attended. People are still coming. It has already started. The venue here, the hall is big. They have the founder is already here. Some of the guests are already here, seated. They have food, drinks, and other things going on. People are networking, talking, and just having a great time and just celebrating such woman who founded this foundation and somebody who has just been impacting the community for development and advancement.
Mm, beautiful. So, tell me, Danlette, do you have the agenda for the day in hand? Otherwise, what will constitute today's event?
Yes, for today, I can hear the founder, Miss Lindora Howard Duawari. She's already on the floor speaking. They have other speakers and supporters here, and the last thing I guess would be on the agenda would be to have dinner and just have fun and just celebrate tonight.
Mm, beautiful. So, tell us about the kind of guests you see. It's a women event principally, uh, but do you see other populations like men, maybe children? Who are you seeing precisely?
There is a diverse group of people here, but I've seen a lot of impactful women from the community. The newly elected executive director of the LICI is here, the former Miss Teneco, and then the former president, Miss Comfort Kenneth, is also here. And there are other amazing women here, and I was also glad to see the men here too to support women and to just be able to show women that they are here for us.
Hmm. Beautiful. And so, if you are just joining us, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Welcome to this new edition of Focus on Women. And today we are focusing on the Business for Peace Community Development Foundation, an organization that was created 10 years ago, precisely in 2015, to cater for the needs of women and girls in a way to ensure that they enjoy social justice and financial independence. It is run by Lindora Diawara, one of the community leaders who hails from Liberia. Just to mention that this organization was created in Liberia, but as the founder moved to the United States of America, the organization has continued its activities and even incorporating the diaspora component of it. So it takes care of women's needs, not only in the African continent, but also in the African diaspora. 20 minutes past 7 here in the studio. If you are just listening to us, watching us on our respective social media handles, you may want to share the video as you arrive on board. My name is Ernest Kanjo. Marcel Adig is the producer of this show. He's doing that digitally from that end. And our reporter on the ground is Danlette, Washington. Tell us about the weather condition over there, Danlette.
The weather here is so nice. I like it was hotter earlier this afternoon. It cooled down a little this evening, but I just like how it's not too hot and it's not too cool. So it's the perfect weather, I would say.
Mm. Right. So shortly, Danlette will be taking us into the hall where the event would surely have started. And like we said, it's the 10th anniversary celebration. And one of the things we are definitely going to be having this evening is a kind of knowledge on the track record of this organization. What have they done for the past 10 years? What is their track record? What do they have to show? I know its founder has been on radio a couple of times to talk about this organization. Recently, they had events as well. But just how much impact has Business for Peace Community Development Foundation has created on the continent as well as its diaspora? These are some of the questions we will be finding answers to in the course of this edition of Focus on Women, the edition of the 13th of September 2025. So, what other kind of activities are we going to be having today, Danlette? speeches, people talking. Maybe I know they usually have some kind of entertainment activities during their functions, like cultural dances and things like that. Are these things going to feature on the agenda today, Danlette?
So far, I haven't seen as far as the cultural dances. I know we all look forward to that. But mostly it's speeches, testimonies of the organization, how impactful it has been, and just celebration. I know there
Mhm.
will be some dancing, while eating and stuff like that. So there will be
Mm.
celebration. But I haven't
Perfect.
seen
Before we
performance.
even go to the hall, let us continue to lay the foundation for this conversation, Danlette, to talk a little bit about women, whom this organization focuses on. And the founder hails from Liberia, your country, Grace. So I know you really do not live in Liberia physically, but you follow up events back home. In 2025, Danlette, if I should ask you, what would you say is the situation of the Liberian woman in 2025, economically, socially, um, education wise?
Um, the Liberian women in Liberia, as here, have been very, very impactful.
Hmm.
When there are things going on as far as crimes, will have women who will come up to advocate, like Miss Lindora. She started in Liberia, she said, from a very young age,
Hmm.
working with other women leaders, and that's where she learned it from. And then there are a lot of women organizations that advocate for women and young girls. And then they also have, one thing I admire is the praying women in Liberia, where they have group of women when there is crime going on,
Right.
there is any kind of social issue going on, they will go on the field, and they all would gather and they would lay on the bare ground and
Hmm.
just for the country. So besides being advocating and educating, they have also been helping spiritually
Hmm.
to help develop and impact the country.
Okay, let us talk about food security. I know that is a global issue. So many parts of the world are still in food crisis. Liberia suffered from civil war, some time ago, and it really created an indelible mark in that country's development. But food security wise, and as far as women are concerned, what is the situation?
Um, as of now, because where we are now, before I knew the dollar amount in Liberia when it comes to food security, I know the average Liberian live below $1, one
Mm,
American dollar per day. I'm sorry, yeah, one they live below $1 American per day, and
mm,
it's been tough. The average Liberian person, because in Liberia, like most other African countries, where it's either you're rich or you're poor. We don't really have a middle class, so either you have it or you don't have it. And when it comes to those who really have it, would be people who have really good job in the private sector or government worker, or
mhm,
somebody who knows another person who works in government that are helping their family and friends. But the average Liberian live below $1, $1 per day, and that's tough because $1 cannot, especially in Liberia, cannot get you a fitting meal every single day. To
mhm.
sometimes people sleep hungry, but they try to make it and just manage.
Well, we'll be coming back to that. This is Apex One Radio. It's focus on women. We will soon be showing you images of the 10th anniversary of Business for Peace Community Development Foundation, which is taking place at Reynoldsburg, Ohio. That is the eastern belt of the city of Columbus. Today is September the 13th. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, we'll have the fourth edition of the New Americans Book Fair, which will graduate from the New Americans Book Fair to the New Americans Book Festival. Now, it is an annual event that brings together book authors principally. It also brings together people in the book industry, including printers, agents and scouts, poets, bookshop owners, writers, marketers, artists, publishers, collective exhibitors, and film practitioners. So they come together every year to exhibit their works, in an event that usually happens at one of the libraries here in Columbus in 2023 or 2022 when we had the first edition. The event took place at the Columbus Metropolitan Library, Carl Road branch. In 23, we went to the Dublin branch of the Columbus Metropolitan Library. 24 was here at Carl Road. Then 25, which happens in 7 days, the event will take place here at Carl Road. So it is the fourth edition of the New Americans Book Festival, which will take place next Saturday. If you are an author, then you still have a chance to take part in the events. I know registration is still ongoing. If you are a book writer, if you are a printer, if you are a newspaper owner, if you are a film producer, ain't what of you, you can still take part in this event. It's usually very, very crowded, very intense. And of course, it's always a good opportunity to network with people in their industry. And alongside this year's edition, the book fair edition of the New Americans magazine has just been published. And so you may want to procure your own copy. If you come to the event on Saturday, you definitely have a copy of it as well. We'll be talking about that as the event, as the show unfolds. Let us go back to Reynoldsburg and see if there is some latest information. Danlette, Washington, over to you.
Yes, thank you. I can't wait for us to get into the hall for the audience to see because the speaker is now on the floor and it looks amazing in there. Everybody is having a good time. And so I
Okay.
can't wait for our audience to experience that.
Perfect. And so, as she takes us into that hall, we just want to reiterate that the Business for Peace Community Foundation is an organization that envisages a world where women and girls lead by creating and promoting entrepreneurial models to foster economic freedom, sustainable peace, and development beyond borders. So I don't know what you intend to do now, Danlette. Are you going into the hall right now?
Yes, I'm going there.
Perfect. So let's do that with you while inviting our viewers to share their video extensively when they come on board. This is Focus on Women, the edition of the 9th of September 2025. As you can see there, we are already in the inner bowl of the 1200 event center at Reynoldsburg in Ohio. So let's watch the images.
2020, we got some funding from Franklin County through United Way to do a census campaign. We did a proposal that, hey, the census is going on, and they were figuring out ways to reach, how to reach communities. And I said, let's reach out to the Liberian community and the Malian community. And my husband is from Mali. I'm also, like before, I'm from Mali as well. So let's reach out to both communities and do this census campaign, and then we can see what's different. And so we did that, and it was interesting. I said, as part of the project, we have had women to lead the project. I said, we're engaged with communities where women will lead. And what did it tell us? Because of COVID, no contact. We have to do everything. I said, what? Us, knowing us Africans, we will hug, we will do everything, but we have to talk to one another. It was difficult. It was difficult, but we made it. We found out that the Malian Community Association, when I called and I said, oh, can I speak to the women leader? You know, and they were like, yeah, but this association is women.
I'll whip you.
And I called my husband and said, what are you guys, what's going on in the Malian community? They have an association in Columbus that's women led. Where are the women? They say, oh, here's the lady's number, you can come, but she's not, the women are not part of this association. Then I said, wow. But LICI then is different. So we did some comparing, and whatnot, but in the end, we did get some good lessons that we learned, and we went through the project, and it was really good. We've gone to Bon County, like I was saying, 2021, when I went, I said to the women, I introduced the concept of the foundation. I said, I have an idea, I have a dream, I have a vision. I shared it with them, and I said to them, but I'm coming back in 2 years. I'm going to come back in 2 years for us to officially launch. I don't have money, I don't work, I have 3 kids, but I want to work with you all to officially launch the foundation. So I'm going to plant a seed. And I planted a seed of $150. I give you this seed. Can you give me the guarantee that it's going to grow? And there were a few of them, there were like 6 women that said, yeah, we will mobilize, we'll work with everybody. But we still would like the idea that you have. Because you are talking about coming to work with us and invest in ourselves and make our communities better. And I said, okay, let's give it a try. So I'm planting this seed, let it grow. When we come back, we will be responsible for the official launching component of the foundation, but the conference will have a 3-day women conference. You all will be responsible for that. And so we went through that, and it's just amazing. I left from here, and somebody said, oh, did you get money? I said, I'm a woman of faith. I'm stepping on that plane, and God will do the rest. We got to that place. I was there literally calling out about the rest. If you guys don't send me money, they're going to beat me up here. They're going to beat me up. I need money. And, we made it. Those people, they mobilized. The women came with different produce from their farms. They hosted each other. The different homes. They have participants in those homes and whatnot. And it worked out so well. And guess what? It was so colorful that people just thought we came with so much money to that conference. And they raised $1 million Liberian. And so there's a lot to be done. So our startup is in Liberia. Our finishing will be in Liberia because, for me, Liberia is where I was born, but Liberia has a unique position in comparison to the U.S., our history. And I see a big opportunity to change the narrative that we have between the U.S. and America when it comes to the way Liberia was founded and the way the relationship has been going. In the midst of that, our partners, our neighbors across the world, we see we can work with them to help to elevate the diaspora voice and tell them what's possible, help them see what's possible beyond politics. The war occurred in Liberia. It was planned here by Liberians with support of the United States. And I believe that peace must be also orchestrated here and supported so that we go and turn that narrative around. As we go along that journey, we will go to other countries, we'll work with others, we want to share, we want to share what we learn along the way as a learning organization and grow together because this is one world and we all feel the pinch. We are everywhere. And so, ladies and gentlemen, so much has happened. We're not going to capture it, but that was the goal every year to try to do at least few things that we can say, this is what we've done. So if you give us your $10, your $20, your $100, your $200, ladies and gentlemen, I will just stop here so that we move on. I see that we have the dinner and some networking, and then I will come back to tell you more about that other story, but don't worry, it's going to be short.
This is Apex One Radio. We are live.
I don't know about you, but I'm telling you.
From Reynoldsburg.
She spoke a lot, but let me tell you what I took from it. The first one is you have to step out on faith. You don't need the whole world behind you. You just need to concentrate and know where you're going by stepping. The other thing I heard was women power. And listen, when we put our hands together, big and great things happen. The question is, as you sit and have your dinner, how do you want to impact this evening? And I believe, for me personally, I think when you're put in this world, as you live your life, when you leave this earth, what is the story you want them to one folks to tell about you? Who do you want to impact? What life do you want to change? This group is changing lives. They're engaging women. What part do you want to play in? So when you sit and have this wonderful, delicious dinner, think about what difference you want to make. I know the difference I want to make. Hopefully, by the time we're done with this, you will say, I know the difference that I want to make and engage in what we do. Dinner is served. I speak in French. They like they like okay.
If you're just joining us, this is Apex One Radio. We are broadcasting live from the United States of America. It is Saturday, the 13th of September 2025. It's exactly 22 minutes to 8 here in the studio of Apex One Radio. Same time in Rennersburg, from where our reporter Danlette Washington is covering the 10th anniversary of the Business for Peace Community Foundation, which is taking place amidst applause for the great work this organization has accomplished since 2015. Just to let you know that the organization has as goal to facilitate, accompany, and support community cooperation, enhance local community capacities for promoting and sustaining local peace initiatives, collective and co-created enterprises for poverty reduction, as well as development and shared prosperity. Let us go back to Ronaldsberg and see if there is some latest information we should learn from Danlette Washington. Are you there? Over to you.
Yes, I'm here.
So, what is the latest information over there?
Oh, the founder, Miss Lindora Howard, just spoke, and now it's time for dinner. Dinner is being served, and after dinner there will be more speeches and more celebration going on.
Hmm. Right. So I know it's still too early, but you may want to start taking the temperature of the event. Do you think you can talk to one or two people already to find out um, their assessment of the 10th anniversary celebration of this organization, at least for now? So do you have like one or two people you can already approach for us?
Um, for now, everybody just went to go get dinner. So right after dinner, I can get
Okay.
some of the guests to speak to them.
Beautiful. And so we just want to mention that this 10th anniversary celebration of Business for Peace Community Foundation is placed under the theme Rooted and Rising, which is something we would like to know from the organizers what exactly Rooted and Rising means. But for now, if you are just joining us, thank you so much. Welcome to this new edition of Focus on Women. And today we are focusing on a women's organization. It's called Business for Peace Community Foundation, which is organizing its 10th anniversary conjunctionally with the Columbus Women Connect. Columbus Women Connect is a network of women's organizations in Central Ohio, organizations that work for the betterment of women in this community. So it's been around for a while. Just to mention that the founder of the organization that is organizing its 10th anniversary today is also one of the founding members of CWC, that is Columbus Women's Connect. Well, we are still looking forward for more information when we come back with our reporter, Danlette Washington. Thank you so much. If you are just joining us, this is Apex One Radio. We are live from the United States of America. Do not go away. Much more to come your way. Thank you once again. And we are here to celebrate the 10th anniversary of Before Business for Peace Community Foundation. 17 minutes to 8 here in the studio of Apex One Radio. Let's find out if Danlette Washington is with us. We may also like to see how the women are celebrating. Why not? Danlette, are you there? Let us know. Thank you once again. This is Apex One Radio. We are live from the United States of America. The show is focused on women. It is a special edition of it since we are celebrating, not only commemorating, but celebrating the achievements of a women's organization which we must attest has stood the test of time. We have had to speak with its founder here on radio a couple of times, and Lindora Diawara is one African lady to reckon with. She is a community leader par excellence. She has led people, led organizations quite focused on social and economic development. She founded CODEFOUND, B4P CODEFOUND. That is the acronym of this organization, which she founded 10 years ago. That was precisely in 2015 as a way of seeking to increase and sustain the voice and agency of women and girls by building their capacities to access resources and tools for social justice, cohesion, and financial independence. And talking about financial independence, when women are financially independent, then be sure to have a community that can stand tall. And this is because women in their rights are development agents par excellence. They are naturally created to multiply, which means if they get empowered, then they become very productive. Someone joked that if you give a woman one seed, then be sure that she's going to multiply it, and the outcome would definitely be a plantation. And that is true. When it comes to growing the community, when it comes to growing society, women lead. It is no doubt that they are considered as the backbone of the family. Of course, they are the ones who bear the children in their wombs, bring these children out to the world. It doesn't end there. They cater for these children, they feed them, bring them up, and also ensure that the home is in good shape. And so that explains why organizations like this have seen the importance of empowering the woman. An empowered woman is an empowered nation. And so that is what the Business for Peace Community Development Foundation has focused on for the 10 years of its existence. We would like to have the people who run the organization tell us exactly what activities they have had to perform. I know Lindora has shared that on radio, but for the sake of those coming across this organization for the first time, we would have the opportunity before the end of this event and the end of this broadcast session to talk about that, to see just how much this organization has invested in women, girls, and community at large. And so this is the 10th anniversary of the organization, which is being celebrated this day, September the 13th, 2025. And the organization has said it again that it works to support women and girls, not only on the continent, but also in the diaspora. And that organization is committed to supporting women, girls, and the rest of the community. Meantime, this is Apex One Radio. If you are just joining us, welcome on board. We are still waiting for the signal of our reporter, Danlette Washington, who is at the event venue at Reynoldsburg in Ohio, precisely at 1200 Wagoner Road. And as soon as she signals, then we will go back and start beaming the images of that event to your digital devices. It's exactly 11 minutes to 8 here in the studio of Apex One Radio. Marcel Adig is the producer of this segment of broadcast. My name is Ernest Kanjo. Meantime, thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome on board if you are just joining us. We are live on radio and live from Reynoldsburg, Ohio, where the Business for Peace Community Development Foundation is celebrating its 10th anniversary. All right. Thank you so much. Welcome once again. We are still on our live coverage of the 10th anniversary of the Business for Peace Community Development Foundation. And so, guests to that event should surely be dining now, but we will come back to that after this break. But just to inform you that the fourth edition of the New Americans Book Fair will take place on Saturday, September the 20th this year. That is in 7 days. So the festival, like we mentioned earlier, brings together book authors from across not only Central Ohio, because we have authors who come from different states here in the United States and even abroad, because last year we had authors coming from abroad. But so this book fair happens next Saturday. It starts at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and will run till 5 p.m. If you are a book author, if you are a writer in any form, if you are a news paper columnist, if you are a magazine publisher, if you are a printer, if you are an agent or a scout, a film practitioner, if you are an artist and marketer, if you are a bookshop owner, then this event is for you. It's called the New Americans Book Festival. As a matter of fact, it started as a New Americans Book Fair. Then, in its fourth edition, it's been graduated into a book festival. And so it's going to take place at Carl Road, 5590 Carl Road, Columbus, Ohio, to 43229 Carl Road, Columbus, Ohio. 5590 Carl Road, Columbus, Ohio, 43229. Take it again. 5590 Carl Road, Columbus, Ohio, 43229. So it's the Columbus Metropolitan Library Carl Road branch. That's where the event will take place. It starts at 10 a.m. and it will run up at 5 p.m. There'll be book exhibitions. We will have readings. Readings, when we talk about readings, we mean extracts from people's works. So the authors themselves will get onto the rostrum and read extracts from their books. There is a kids storytelling competition, which has been going on for the past couple of weeks. The festival has been receiving entries. The best story will be awarded on the day of the festival. Then we also have painters who will be displaying their fine arts at the event as well. There is going to be a food truck for people who would like to eat during the events. There will be community and local leaders, some of them from the Ohio House of Representatives and from the Columbus City Council, who will be talking, at the event. It's always been the case. Then the new Immigrant Commission will also make a stopover at the event to say a word or two. That will be at 3 p.m. As soon as we have the official agenda of the day released, we'll be back on radio to talk about it detailing. So that is a rendezvous with you. Just to mention that the New Americans Book Fair is organized by the New Americans Magazine and New American Community Information Center in conjunction with the Carl Road branch of Metropolitan Library. Looks like
Access to everything.
new information which
And
we
since she told me that, I've been faithful.
haven't
I've been using that
showing the
card, and
images
my,
of
my second daughter, Ruki, is
the 10th
here. She's not
anniversary
here.
of Business for
I
Peace
can
Community
call from over
Development
this place. If someone
uh,
like Jenny would just come, I'll be in trouble.
Foundation.
Make sure that's part of your work. Make sure you organize this. I've been trying. It's not easy. We know the founder story, but we just want to say at this time, thank you. And since you're the first one, I'll just read this. Certificate of Appreciation. This certificate is awarded to Mrs. Janine Smith Hughes in appreciation of your invaluable services and contribution to the People family. Your dedication, hard work, and generosity have made a significant impact in fostering our mission and vision as a community development foundation. And we are grateful for your support yesterday, today, and in the future. You know what that means? You ain't going nowhere. Thank you. Yeah, we have a bag to give away too. Fatima, please help us. Yeah. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it. We have bags that will go along. So yeah, you may have your seat and we'll bring it to you. Thanks for down here. Yeah. Thank you. All right, please give Jenny her bag. Next up is Mr. J. Patrick Flomo. I didn't tell you. Please come up, brother. Mr. Flomo is a member of the board. A lot of the people who have been recognized tonight, I didn't tell them. And just one or two knew because I said, if I just do this surprise and they don't show up, I'm not going to be happy. So I'm there to just say. So, Mr. J. Patrick Flomo is now a member of the board of directors. He recently was onboarded earlier this year. We onboarded Mr. Flomo along with others. And the story that goes with Mr. Flomo is that, as I told you that story about starting up this whole organization from the mind trying to put it on paper, Mr. Flomo worked here with us. I was in Indiana. I worked with the legal law clinic, the legal department that at Notre Dame, their clinic, legal aid clinic. They helped us do the articles, but they are in Indiana. The Ohio laws are different. And so Mr. Flomo was the one who helped us register the organization here, who helped us get our articles and everything. And he's been there, not in the limelight, but just leading from behind. And so Mr. Flomo, in this public manner, I just want to say that it's not a mistake that you're on this board. We've been trying to get you on ever since, but I've been saying to myself, I think I want another role for him. I think I want another role for him. But I just couldn't figure it out. But I think finally you've landed the board, and that's where you should have been in the first place. But on behalf of the organization, everybody around, we want to say a very big thank you. And so this is your certificate. Next up, we have my own son. I got a name for her, but by the time I call that name, she will know. Mrs. Comfort Kennedy.
Woo! Woo!
I call her Prezo. And the reason why I call her Prezo in the Liberian way, that's the short form for president. When I came to this community, this beautiful woman, this queen, this phenomenal woman, she was president of the Liberians in Columbus Incorporated, LICI. And being president, when we held the first consultation, she came and she said to me, I really want to be involved. Make sure you don't keep me out. But she's very busy. She's all over the place. I thought I was all over the place, but this woman, but she still finds time, no matter what. Every time I call her, every time I ask her to do something, she's always there. And so, my Prezo, it is an honor. The baby girl is almost 10. Yes, it's an honor that you've been with us, helping us in whatever little way, and we just want to say thank you. To make it a surprise. Next up is Mr. Albert Freeman Wilson. Yeah, you hear my husband say the brother. Yes. Woo, 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 woo. Albert is not just a volunteer staff, but he's also family. And when I came to this country and trying to speak the language of peace building, there was someone who said, "What is that?" Albert and I worked together in Liberia. And I thought to get things going faster, I need to also start with people who understood the language I was speaking. And so I called on him, and he said yes. He's been with us since. I would say, the only one who would tell me, "Listen to me. I'm telling you this." And I would be on the phone and screaming, and then I would just hear my husband say, "Is that Albert again?" And I said, "Who else?" But Albert, thank you. We will haul and pull, you got a good heart. You always say to me, after we fuss, you will come and say, "I don't care what happened, I'm with you. Just let me know." He's been there supporting. He will buy equipment. He will send money. He'd say, how much does it cost? Just tell me. And he will be there. You've been there. You've been a pillar for this organization. In this public manner, I just want to say on behalf of everybody, the entire team, the board of directors, thank you so much for standing with us. Huh? My husband said I should give you a hug. Please stop. You have his permission. Yeah, permission, that's the word. Next up, I'm thinking what name to call. But this person is no other but Mrs. Yogi Jeff. Where is she?
I'm still going.
I call her Enter Yogi. She's my mother. My biological mother comes after her. She's my mother's sister. And in our culture, she's my mother. We call her Enter Yogi generally. Also, it has become like a name. So everybody says Enter Yogi. But when I came to this country to study, she said, "Why did you leave the children?" It's because of her that I'm here. God first. "Why did you leave the children?" I said, "Because I'm going back." She said, "No, you're not leaving them there. But if they come here, how am I going to deal with this? I'm in school." And she said, "You're not leaving them there." She made me speak to my husband. We agreed, and those kids came here. And then I got stuck. And I got stuck. But not only that, when I came, I had not even officially moved in. In fact, actually, it was after my graduation. She called the women, the Liberian women together, the phenomenal women, to tell them that this is my daughter. I want to put her in your hand. She just graduated. She's got ideas. She wants to do stuff. But this is the community. You all are in charge. I invited you to my home to introduce you to her, to introduce her to you all, and I want you all to put hands around her. That's what she did, and the women did it. The phenomenal women have put arms around me and whatnot, and she's been there every time I go to a meeting, and I say, "My name is Lindora Howard Diawara." She said, "Put your color there, put your color there." So for those of you who don't understand why I stand up and say my name is Lindora Kolu Howard Diawara, yes, because it's like, I just feel like if I don't say that, she'll be, I keep hearing that voice. I always hear that voice. So I say Lindora, and then like the other day, Alpha said, "What this whole Kolu thing?" I did a video for the Liberian Diaspora Conference, the upcoming conference. Alpha, they put the Kolu. I said, "Edit it, put my Kolu there." He said, "This whole Kolu thing." I said, "Yes, please put it there." So enter your in this public manner. I want to say thank you. Because of you, like I said, I got stuck. Because of you, I've made meaningful relationships. Because of you, this foundation today, you've been leading from the back, is Most welcome. Huh. Another person, Mr. Alexander Jesse. That's your this 6 months. Thank you. Thank you. He's been here, and like I said, just as I spoke about Enter Yogi, they didn't want to open their arms to us to say, come home. They supported us. They've been with us. Everything about this foundation. You just say, I hear it, I agree. He's been supporting. He, even up until today, he is still known by the state as our statutory agent because he worked with Mr. Flomo to make sure that we have all our documents in place. By the time I graduated and came, we had everything in order. Uncle Jeff, Pape, thank you, yeah. He left from here. He said he was on the board and he said, I'm old now. I can't do this thing. I'm going back to Liberia. I will go because our board, we have board members here and we have board members in Liberia. And it was intentionally done because we say we want accountability. We don't want all board members here and people doing their own thing back there. So when he went to Liberia, we had meetings there. In fact, the board for a long time never met in person. Even when I told them, go to dinner, I will pay for it. They never did. When I went for the lunch, I said to everybody, you have to come. And it was the first time in about 7 years that we're meeting for the first time when he was there. Jeff, thank you. Thank you. Okay. Let me go down so they can say that. Next up is Mr. Emmanuel S. Witt.
The eminent.
Y'all give me for that back.
Always a Liberian.
That can be a little leader. Mr. Witt here. When I came to Columbus and I was scanning the different pockets of Columbus and trying to find people that I could work with. Some people put their hand up to say, I want to volunteer. I didn't reach out to you. Either I've been too busy or that moment just hasn't come yet. Mr. Wetty was one of those I saw when I came in touch with him. I didn't know as much as I know now about him, but I always saw him to these events with his mother. Peace be unto her soul. She passed on, my Rebecca. He will always be there carrying her handbag and everything. And the day I see him and I don't see her, and I say, where's my Rebecca? Say either she's coming or she's home. But I saw that he's a man with soft heart. Sister, please come. I saw that he's a man with soft heart. And it told me something, about man versus women relationship. That was his mother. When he got a soft heart, he's very supportive. This is Mrs. Weston. I know the two of them in the community. She's also very forceful. She works so hard in the community. And so as I observed him, then I realized that he was leading the campaign for dual citizenship in Liberia. Liberia only received this dual citizenship status, 2021? 2022. Officially 2022. At that same time, when I observed that he was doing that, and I learned that alcohol had been in the forefront of advocating, I was also going to Liberia doing trips every 2 or 3 years and saying to the people, what's wrong with you all? You all are sitting here and the political parties are going to America and engaging with diaspora communities for elections. But civil society isn't doing that. What's wrong with know the diaspora have a key role to play. And so even in one of the pictures, I went to a conference and I was there. And nobody would listen to me. I was talking diaspora, diaspora, diaspora. And so at some point, I connected with Mr. Wetty. And we appointed him as the advisor on Liberia diaspora relations for the foundation. So every time I had questions, I would go to him. I went to him and said to Mr. Wetty, we want to start, I said, in my mind and based on my experience, I know what the challenges are. But we want to make it a little more scientific, evidence-based. So we are going to do a depth research here in an actual assessment in Liberia. But want to see, to validate some of the assumptions that we have. For example, of the many Liberian community associations, the women are not visible. Just very few women are in leadership. And I said, I know that from my own interaction, but I want to see. Interestingly, when we did that across 15 states, just going online to the different secretaries of state and trying to see which organizations had the word Liberian in the name and to assess them. Interestingly, what we found was that a lot of these organizations had cases in court. And I was like, huh. So they're not just here and socializing and and not doing country development work, but a lot of them are ending up in court. It tells me that as someone with a conflict resolution background, the peace building agenda that we have is going to be very relevant in this context. And so when I spoke to him, he said, how long you want to run this for? He said, as I said to him, we're thinking about doing it 1 year to 2 years. And he said, no, let it be an ongoing thing. You collect your data, you gather your data, you make sure you watch the trends, and every couple of years you see what's changing, and eventually you grow to be that organization with, concrete evidence in terms of how these organizations are evolving. I said, that's a very beautiful idea. He said, now, we've been talking all this while. When are you having the first workshop? I said, Mr. Wetty, I will get back to you and whatnot. But just to say that he's an advocate. He's been out there advocating for the Liberian, for the Liberian diaspora, for the government to not just recognize the role of the diaspora, but to also recognize that it's not because we are here that we become Americans and we're no longer Liberians. And so there's that clause, that line, once a Liberian, always a Liberian. That tells the story. Yeah, so in 2022, we got our dual citizenship. We reached a point where I basically thought I have 2 daughters born in Liberia, my son born in Mali. They told me my son was not a Liberian. Why? Because I'm not a man. If my husband been a Liberian, my son would have been considered a Liberian. But because of the dual citizenship law right now, all that is gone. And I just want to say thank you for your support, not just for Liberian communities across the diaspora and in Liberia, or for the advocacy that you've done. And the government of Liberia just honored him, gave him the highest honor. What's it? The Knight of what?
The Knight Commander of the African. You mean what of African?
Woo! I beat you. That was a big deal. That was conferred upon him by the President of the Republic of Liberia.
The whole president.
By the President of the Republic of Liberia because of the same advocacy. So to have a man like this as our advisor on Liberia diaspora relations, do you think it's a mistake?
No.
So again, the last line on the certificate says, we are grateful for your support yesterday, today, and in the future. It means we ain't going nowhere. Thank you for being the strong woman behind this man. Thank you. All right. You took the picture? Okay.
Let me take one with 2 of them.
Huh?
I took one with 3 of them. Let me take one with you.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. We're almost done here. And that will make my talk short too. Oh, this one, they are here, but Janine will hold this. We have a certificate from Messiah. And we'll collect the certificate afterwards because the co-chair didn't sign. So we'll collect it and then give it back to you. We have a certificate from Messiah. I had invited our pastor, and unfortunately, he couldn't make it because the good thing is that he tells husband today is his 40th wedding anniversary. And I said, Pastor, there's no fuss. Thank you. We can have fun. We will let you know. So Janine, please deliver this on behalf of the organization to Messiah. Every time we wanted to do this space is free for us as members. So we don't have the money. We don't have to go all around looking for money to rent a hall every time we have our event. We just have to schedule it, and we're here. So we are so appreciative of the support from Messiah. Other projects, initiatives, personally that I've taken on, they have supported us also. We had the Association of Liberian Lutherans in the Americas here. We partnered with them. We had a conference here. This space has been a space for us, and Messiah has been very welcoming, and please convey our appreciation. Last but not least, let me see. What is last but not least? Oh no, not this one. She's not here yet. All right. Last but not least, this one goes to nobody else but Mr. City and Woo! Hey! Take an idea from your head to paper, to make it clear for someone to understand, to say, I am with you. It's so hard. He's been the first one. That's it. Oh, what do you think about this? No. Why do you say no like that? Don't just say no like that. Think about it. No, it's too complicated. Can you simplify it? Why should I simplify it? Can't you understand me? We have that argument. So from the home and whatever, I'm all over the place. One day a friend of mine said, how do you do this? Where's your husband? I said, he's here. And he lets you go like that. I said, well, you understand? And so, yeah, you've been a pillar. You've been a pillar, but he is advisor on programs. And so as ideas come, I send it to you. I said, you know what? I sent something to your email. Can you please check it out? I say, yeah, okay, I'll check it out. I'm watching a movie. I need to watch, I need to do that thing. Okay, I will check it out. Or he's at work and I'm sending stuff. But he's been a real supportive husband. And I cannot let this night go by without saying thank you to him. Amen. When we planned the lunch in Liberia, he didn't tell me he was going, and he pretended as though he was going to be doing other things. I said, well, he's not saying anything. I'm not going to ask him. Attitude strict. Yeah. I'm not going to ask him. We go to the lunch and he starts saying nothing. But eventually, before I knew it, he's like, when is the date? And I said, why are you asking? Because I'm going to Liberia. Oh, really? And so he went along, and the women gowned him. In fact, the women I work with, they call me their mother. When I get there, a lot of them, oh, our mother is here, so by extension, he's their father. So he was gowned and everything. Yeah, so he's got a lot of children back there, but I just want to say in a special manner, thank you very much. Thank you. And that's not all. Yeah, that means you're never going nowhere.
Make sure it's the best photo.
Okay. That was for the certificate, the final award. Joyce, can you? This one is a special one. Mr. Fuller, can you please come up? Yeah. So I called her up and said, her husband Jeff was on the board. Jeff was white. He was our first and only white man to date. And so when we go to board meetings, in fact, the first board meeting we had, I did the agenda, and I think the agenda items were up to 8. And then from 8, I put item 13. And Jeff said, wait a minute, are we not missing something? And I said, what? He said, you came from 8 to 13. And he said, what's item 13? I said, oh, you're a white man. You told me that you went to Liberia. And you don't do item 13? Our board chair, David, brought him. David is our founding board chair, and he brought Jeff. Because I said, I want people, I don't just want Liberians on the board. I want a mix of people. And he brought Jeff. And Jeff was never going to go anywhere. Unfortunately, we lost Jeff last week. When we're going to the lunch of the foundation, I said to the people in Liberia, I said, our white man is coming home. And for those of you Liberians, you know how we do it. They were preparing. I was so excited. Jeff and she was supposed to go along with her granddaughter. And he told us that. I said, oh my goodness, Jeff, you've just made my day. I told them they were so excited. Unfortunately, he had some health issues. He couldn't travel. And then he came back, and we didn't get to see until one day I heard he was in the hospital. We lost Jeff. Unfortunately, I met her for the first time. Not for the first time, we actually at the 5th anniversary, he brought her over, and then I went to the hospital. What a beautiful flower to present. I was praying in my heart that his eyes would be open for me to say hi, for us to chat. Unfortunately, that didn't happen until he passed on. And so tonight we want to honor Jeff. Jeff was a good man, and I don't need to tell you about him. But we saw that even at the level of the board, he would come when we sent out, every time I sent out an email, and I think I told you that story, Jeff would be the first to respond. So when I started sending out emails and he didn't respond, it's like, this is not Jeff, what's going on? That's when he got sick. And I had no clue. Then I started looking and I'm like, what's going on? And I tried to call David, I couldn't get him until she sent me the email one day that Jeff was ill. And like I said, we lost him. One day I was so broken because of a lot of the challenges, some of the challenges that I had gone through some challenges. I was so broken. And we're having the board meeting and I was literally sobbing. And he said, Lindura. I said, what? He said, when you and those women in Liberia went to protest against the Liberian war, did you ask for permission? And I said, no. He said, so why are you here and waiting for someone to give you the permission to do what you want to do? That's right. And that woke me up. It dried my tears. And he was always present. Those were the words that he left it there. But I saw that he was getting so much interested in economic empowerment of women. And he kept saying, what's the program? Let's come up with a plan. Let's come up with a plan. But he's gone, but he's still here. We know that he's still here. And so in a special way, you went to Liberia. Jeff went to Liberia, he went several times. He had a scholarship program running along with David. And we want to honor him by giving him a seal of Liberia. Because we knew had he still been with us, he was going to work with us to do bigger things in Liberia. He loved Liberia. Interestingly also, when Jeff died, I kind of understood a bit why he was so into Liberia. For Liberians in the room, I found out that Jeff's father was a schoolmate of the guy or the owner of Parker Pint in Liberia. Oh. So his father always talked about Liberia, and so that's where that interest came from. And when I went to the funeral, and I had no clue Jeff's mother was still alive, and I told this woman and I introduced myself, and she said, I've never seen you. I saw the family, but it was quite interesting. But I know if Jeff had been here present with us, he would have continued. But I know wherever he is still with us. He's Yeah, and I guess that's part of why we are succeeding. So, what this means in our context, I've asked Mr. Flomo to come because he loves this seal. He can fight for the seal of Liberia. This story right here, it says the love of liberty brought us here. In this statement lies division, unspoken stories. Because Liberia, before it became Liberia, which means the land of the free, they were indigenous people. When the newcomers went to find a home, freed African American slaves and those from the Caribbean and other places, the Bahamas and whatnot. When they founded the country Liberia, that's the seal that we still carry today. Because of the challenges, the issues of marginalization, division, violence that's connected with this seal, that's part of why we exist. Peace. We want to help change that narrative. And Jeff was going to walk that room with us. We want to give you this. He will tell you what's here, and then we'll hand it over and then
Article 13. Article 13.
I will explain it.
The coat of arms for Liberia has a long beginning, and it began with the ACS. This is not the first. It has been transformed 3 different times, or 4 different times, if I may, just to make sure my record is correct. In 1847 to 1849, we had a different seal. And from 1847 to also 1849, it was also changed. And then from 1889 to 1921, there has always been an addition to see how the seal can represent the country as a whole. Then in 1829, 1921 to 1974, there was also another revision. Still, it was not completed, and it is still going through a transformation. In 1974, the Act of Congress, the Liberian legislation, is this seal. This seal was adopted in 1974 that we see here. And what it displays here, it displays the representation of the Liberian people, culture, and society. However, there is a missing link, and we are still struggling to have that missing link. The ship represents the coming of the former enslaved people, mostly from the south. The dove on top you see over this hill, and a scroll is bringing peace to the new land. And when you look at the bottom, you see a wheelbarrow and a scroll. This means they were coming to build a new nation. The coconut tree that we have also represents the productions of our famous oil productions in Liberia. Then we have on top, like my sister already alluded to, the law of liberty brought us here. Again, this is a psychological division within our society, and we are still struggling to amend or to change that for the total inclusion of the Liberian society. At the bottom, there's nothing wrong with the bottom statement for most of us who are advocating a change in this year. And it reads the Republic of Liberia. The 3 major emblema of Liberia are the seal, the flag, and the national anthem. The seal is the most displayed of all because you will find this on all government officials. It is relevant to the Liberian community, to the Liberian society, government, and society. It represents who we are and what we do. It is very honored by all Liberians, and it would be more honored once it is totally included inclusive of all the story of Nigeria, because the seal represents the history, the society, the culture, and the heritage of a nation. So we are very happy to present this to you on behalf of B40. Thank you very much.
In addition, we'll give you the flowers. And these are beads, which tells you that it's the work of women who women never know, who women never see. But that's the story of women. So many untold stories, so many unseen faces, so many unheard voices. And so as you look at this, we are giving this to you to tell you that as an organization, the issues of division and the need for inclusivity, those are things that we work on. Come work with us. Come support us. Come continue this journey with us. And so we can help transform Liberia and eventually our spaces here in the US.
When this is reformed, we'll also give you a new one too. So thank you again.
All right. So Joyce wants to say something, and then I will wrap it. Yeah.
Wow, I just can't believe this. This is very, it touches my heart, like you would not believe. Whew. I can tell you that this is the fourth time that I have gotten an award for my husband since he passed. This is the fourth time I have had to stand up and talk, or have the privilege of standing up and talking. And I can't remember, because he's gone now, but I have not forgotten. So I would just like to say a few things. Just first of all, thank you so much for honoring him tonight. It does mean so much to me. And you know, like she said, he was a board member of this organization, and he was happy to serve with many of you in this room to improve the lives of women and girls and help them to develop financial independence. And that's what he was trying to do and wanted to help do. Unfortunately, he did have an aggressive form of cancer, which came up very quickly, and he did not make it. He was in the hospital for 3.5 months, and it was a terrible, terrible thing, and he just did not thought God would bring him through, but it wasn't God's plan. It was not his plan. So I'm humbled by your kindness and thinking of him tonight. And if he were here, I have to say this because he would always say this. Every time he spoke, he was a very faithful person, and he loved God, he loved Jesus, and he would say, above all else, I'm nothing special, and nothing more than a forgiven sinner. And I give God the glory for who I am and all the many blessings I have received. And that would be his message. He would consider one of his greatest blessings the ability to help others by serving, being involved in church leadership, education, mentoring, and just being genuinely present when he was needed, like he did with this organization. Whether it was family, friends, colleagues, or people unknown to him, but in need, he always tried to make a difference. He was proud to be of help to this organization again, and many others. Jeff felt God called him to help others, and he was called to help David Cudi as he developed a love and genuine concern for those in Liberia with their Liberian Scholarship Program, they raised funds to pay for over 1,200 scholarships. For students in Liberia to attend school who otherwise would not have been able to go to school. I had the pleasure of going there and interviewing students and helping with that process. It was a life-changing thing for me. I was trying to figure out what they were calling me. They were all yelling at me every time we would go by in the car, and they were yelling, "White woman." And I was like, "What?" They're all going, "White woman." And I was like, "Oh." I felt like I was a movie star or something. It was like, it was such an interesting time, I'll tell you. Someone called me a Chinese woman. I don't look Chinese. I don't know why they did that. He was looking forward to future years of service on this board, as well as more mission trips to Liberia. There were so many attending his funeral service, and so many stories to help of him helping and supporting. And many times he was a quiet support. No one knew who was doing things. He was just helping people quietly. And lots of people I didn't even know, I had never met, came up to me and told me about how much he had helped them in his life. And it was amazing. He was a great husband, father, son, and papa. He adored his family, and we all love him dearly still. And he's missed so much by all of us. Jeff, if you know Jeff, he never did anything halfway. He had an amazing legacy and an example for us all to follow. He was president, board member, supporter of many organizations throughout his lifetime, and won many awards for helping in so many different ways. I would encourage you to think about your legacy and where God is calling you to help, support, or stand up for others in need. When Jeff committed to a cause or organization, he gave completely of himself. One of his favorite books was Love Does. It's by Bob Goff, and it explains how to love by being there and doing, not just giving of your resources, but giving of yourself, your time, your energy, and your love. And I've heard him say many times when speaking to a group, tell them the best gift anyone can give is to give your time and make a difference in someone's life. The members of this organization have blessed our lives with visits, support, comfort, phone calls, cards, especially prayers. And you've made a difference in our lives by being there for us during a very difficult, the most difficult time in my life. And I will be forever grateful to all of you. And I just want to say thank you so much for thinking of him and for this special honor, and God bless you, everyone.
I forgot this, but this is actually.
Oh, yeah.
Lovely, Jeff.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. This is Apex One Radio. We are broadcasting live from the United States of America. We're going to take a very short break to talk about the New Americans Book Fair, which takes place on September the 20th. That is in 7 days here at the Carl Road branch of the Columbus Metropolitan Library. And so if you are an author, if you are a printer, a poet, a bookshop owner, a writer, or a marketer, publisher, artist, collector, exhibitor, film practitioner, agent, or scout, then this event is for you. You may want to register now. Go to www.newamericansbookfair.com, www.newamericansbookfair.com, or you just pick up your phone, press your fingers on 614 260 or 276-0917, 614-726-0917. All right, so this event is for you. Make sure you register if you are a creative artist and be at that event. It starts at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday, and it will roll till 5 p.m. The New Americans Book Fair is organized by the New Americans Magazine and the New Americans Community Information Center in conjunction with the Cairo branch of the Columbus Metropolitan Library. We will come back to this information in our subsequent broadcast here on Apex One region. Let us go back to Rennersburg, where the Business for Peace and Community Development Foundation is currently taking place. Its 10th anniversary is being celebrated. The event is taking place at Rennersburg, where our reporter Danlette Washington and Okon Ekweyam are there. So let us go back there and continue to show you the images. Thereafter, we'll be talking to the people who are guests at that event and, of course, the organizers. We'll be right back with you. But keep watching the images of that event.
After all those years have passed, when she called from Mali and said she had a scholarship to go to Notre Dame to do her master's, and then had 3 children, but the husband was willing to come back and forth and visit her with the 3 children from Africa here to me. That was that's why I asked you. She said we have children. And surprisingly, I didn't think they would agree. All she asked me was, how would you do it? I said, well, God first. I know that's my husband. As we speak now, she has a master's. She's doing very well. Her daughter now, the first one is in college. Rookie will be graduating from high school this year. The baby who was Dama, stand up. Dama, come on, honey. Don't cry, it's okay. Dama was 2 years old, and he spoke no English because he was in Mali with the family. And he would take this pen and go, Kinidu. And I would ask the older sister, what is Kinidu? But because the older sister wanted as many other snacks as she did, she always needs something different. So later on, I got the point that Kinidu was rice. I'm like, rice? And she's calling all the different snacks. We enjoyed our last sunset down there. We really enjoy having you all around. I don't regret, or we don't regret because you have made us so very proud. You have made us so proud. The house that we bought, that we live in, even though we retired and went back to Liberia, we are back to home. But guess what? Because of Kolu, we get to still go to our house because she bought that house. What a
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. All right, I told you it's a night of storytelling. And so at least you've heard other things about me that you didn't know, and a lot we're not going to know now, but later. But I just want to say thank you, Joyce, for being here. Thank you for accepting the honor. Jeff always said when I say it's time for board meeting and I gave those days, the first thing he's looking for those days that OSU has games, and he's like, no. And I said, okay. So we never met when OSU had games, but we enjoyed having him. As like I said, we would have we saw that he was willing to go all out to continue supporting us. So thank you so much. So we have the slides there. I'm not going to go through all of that, but basically our 10-year journey is not ended yet. It's going to end in December at a Women and Youth Conference. When we had the launch in 2023, we didn't want to launch the foundation in central Liberia, in Bon County. What we did was that we established the Bon County Women and Youth Development Corporation. The idea is for those of you who know about the whole idea of collective, cooperatives, and whatnot. I like the whole solidarity society thing. Yeah. That we work together, we invest in ourselves, and we do things together for the betterment of all. And that's our model. And I will just go to that model here and talk about that. So in terms of our model, and this is just a draft presentation, we have our other board member here. Please stand up, Aja. Dr. Aja Johnson. She is a member of our board of directors that was also recently onboarded along with Mr. Flomo. And she said, I got skills, I can write grants, I can do this. I love all those words, Aja. And so program-wise, she's working with us to develop a model because she looked at the website and she's like, you need a model. You need something that people see and that, it would be simple, they would just catch it. And so she's working to develop that for the purpose of this presentation. I developed something and hopefully it will give some cues as to how we're going to go further with that. So you will see something different. So in terms of our model, we are an organization that's growing at some point. Anyway, we call ourselves a Liberian-inspired organization, a nonprofit organization that's growing to be a social enterprise. Why? Because we don't want to be writing grants forever. We want to involve ourselves in other things that will bring us money that we will invest in our own initiative. So what we do, we first engage and mobilize. In Liberia, when I told you the story about going to plant the seed of $150, I met with people that I knew, people that I have worked with for a long time. And I said, bring others who you think need to be in this room. They brought those and we sat and talked. When you saw the video, if you watched the video, there's a lady there who is, during the war, her husband got killed. She mobilized all those women who lost their husbands and said, we'll do something for ourselves. That woman has grown an organization today. She never went to school. She would do cassava chips and export them to China. They have at least 700 cooperatives as part of their group. They're doing so much across the county to the extent that the UN organization, the World Food Program, now have them doing the school feeding program. World Food Program used to do the school feeding in Bond County. They have transferred that to them. And she tells me one day this guy came with papers and said to her, please sign, this is a contract. She said, no, let me call my son. And he said, why no, your son? I didn't see your son. She said, I don't read, I don't write. And he's like, no. He couldn't believe that a woman who never went to school was doing all this paperwork. When she came to that room and I explained about the vision of the organization, she said, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's going to take a while for you to get on your feet, but we will support you. And she said to the others, where we've come as an organization, we struggle. She would struggle, she would take the information, she would go, she would share the story, she would come back, we'll plan together, but we would go together on this journey. And they did that. So we engaged and we mobilized. Today we launched that cooperative we call it a corporation because we didn't want them, we agreed that we'll not use the word cooperative because there are a lot of farmers cooperative. We didn't want them to be confused since we are nonprofit. So we decided to use the word corporation. And so today, the Bond County Women and Youth Development Corporation, they've mobilized 33 other groups across 12 districts in Bond County. Women and youth, market women, business owners. It's a mixed group. They are now gearing up for this 10th anniversary celebration in December, but also their second conference, just as an example. Also there, when we went and launched, we collectively organized, build relationships and trust. So we've been meeting via Zoom. How can you organize, you set up an organization, you're not even in country? And I say to them, how many of you know Zoom? 2 persons in the room. I say, okay, guess what? All by hook or crook, you all will learn what Zoom is. And so I'm so excited. Just the other day I was meeting with them and I realized that WhatsApp has video sharing. You get on like Zoom. I was so excited. They couldn't understand why I was excited. Because I said Zoom, it seems so complicated, but with WhatsApp, and all of them were on. And so that's how we've been connecting. We've been building relationships. I've been telling them stuff. Sometimes they say, we want to go and do this. We need this. And I said, listen, I'm working and taking part of my salary to put in this organization. That money you call, tell me how much you're bringing on the table. And I'll tell you how much I'll put there. And so we've been doing that together. We built trust to the extent that in 2023, through the government of Liberia, with one of the groups there received $1,500,000 Liberian dollars. That was like $8,000 to do agriculture. But then they decided that they said that when we got the money, they didn't give it to them directly. They decided that they would give it to us to manage on their behalf. Why? Because and that was through the office of the vice president. She said, for as long that I've been in government, these same people have received money over and again to get the money to do something else with it. This time around, I want them to do something concrete. And so we did that. We managed the money. If you look on our website, we have what we call, on our programs, we hope to become a donor, have a donor advice fund program. Meaning that if you are in the US and you are from Liberia, or you have an interest in supporting somebody in Liberia, and you don't trust them to manage that money to do whatever, we can take that money, we manage it, you tell us what your terms are, we manage it, we report it back to you. So we have a donor advice fund program. As I stand here at almost 10 years old, we've had 2 so far. That $1.5 million, we distributed the money, we keep working with them, and we said this will be an opportunity for us to develop an agribusiness program with the women there from 10 communities in Bond County. And so that donor advice fund, we have, like I said, that from the government. Recently, from the Fidelity charity, they wrote us, there's a guy who wanted to send money to a group in Liberia. He said, can you, they send it to us. They said, you have to have a 501c3. We received that money and we are now channeling it. So we have 2 examples and something now we can hold on to move forward. So building relationship and trust. Lastly, we co-create, we innovate, we self-invest, and we create impact. Co-create. The ideas that I have, I go back to them and say, as a cooperative, they have a steering committee, and I say to them, I have this idea, what do you all think? I try to make them comfortable so they feel that their ideas also matter. So we meet, we discuss, we share ideas, and I say to them, I'm just here to support you. Tell me what you want. We will find the support, the support you need to move on. So we are building things together, and as part of our conference that we are talking about in December, they are the ones planning. I asked them, what issues do you want to talk about? They said health, agriculture, and education. Those are the 3. So I built the theme, sent it back to them, we agreed, and we've been moving like that. Self-invest. Those 10 communities, the women that received the $1.5 million, we had an agreement. I said, you receive this money, but the thing is that when you get this money, you go and share it, and everybody goes to something else. Can you commit to investing that money in your individual agricultural programs and bring back a portion of whatever sales you make from the produce, and we put it in the account? Over time, that grows, and we will find extra money and put it together, and we can then set up a kind of revolving scheme. As I speak to you, these women have raised over 80,000 Liberian dollars that they brought back to the account. We build trust. They are now preparing to self-invest, and we invite you to join us. And eventually, once we do that and we launch that revolving fund, we also establish the Bond County Women and Youth Solidarity Fund. We have over 300,000 sitting in that account. We hope to work with them to develop the program ideas. So when we go in December, we will be busy. And hopefully we can start making some impact at the ground level. So that's our model. That's part of it. Quickly, bear with me. We have our strategic plan, 2023 to 2026. And again, my loving husband here was very supportive in that process. It was a tedious process. Consulting here, consulting in Liberia, consulting online with other experts. We have 6 key areas. Strategic, strengthen institutional and program capacity for long-term development. We believe that we need to be strong to be able to help others. So we want to build institutions. This is not about Lindora. In fact, I always say to people, when I was founding this organization, I said to myself, maybe I give it 5 years and I go do something else. Those of you who know me, I'm into all kinds of things. I don't see myself staying as executive director for the longest. If we have money to hire someone, I would have been off that seat a long time ago. And so building institutions that would last is what we aim for. Leverage internal capacities for communication, accountability, innovation, and skill. So we have resources within our networks. We want to leverage that. Resource mobilization for financial security, impact, investing, and acquisition of assets. The business language. And that's where the social entrepreneurship angle comes in. So we want to be able to not just mobilize financial resources. We want to have financial security, of course, but that security is not to make us dependent, because one of the things we work on is to make sure that as a nonprofit, we are sustainable. We don't want to go and ask for $500 here and that's it. You give us $20, we want to say part of that. We work with people, the experts, to see how can we invest some of this money and have returns on our investment and growth assets. Participatory grant making and investments as a means of enhancing capacities for peace and lasting social impact. A lot of the people that I work with, those women, we all stood up in protest of the war in Liberia. We worked so hard. The work of the women, after going through war so many times, the women suffered. A lot of them were older women. So many of them have passed on today with no proper burial. The children not even in school. And one of the things that even sparked up the idea of this foundation was when I spoke to one of the ladies, Mama Topa in Kanjo, she said to me, Lidora, we've done all this work, fought for peace, our children dying, we cannot eat peace. That was my turning point that has led me here. Mama Topa, she's now gone. They serve, older women serve. The children are not in school. They suffer. No proper burial. I hear the news and I sympathize. I can't do much. We don't want to continue like that. We want to continue working with them. Make sure we find ways, work together to promote, to support some of their initiatives so that it becomes sustainable. We can all take care of each other. Development of partnership for relationship building, buy-ins, and accountability. We are here in this community, the Association of Liberians in the Americas. We are connecting with them. The Bon County Association, is the president here? I thought I saw him. Yes. Yes. We have the president here. Please stand up. He's the president. Where we have the that's not standing. Where we have our office in Bon County in Central Liberia, he is the president of the association here in Columbus. And I'm saying to them, there's so much that needs to be done in country. Please come and work together with us. Let's go and make a change. I took picture with him. The lawmakers were here. I took picture with them and I sent it to the committee and said, the lawmakers are here. They say they keep the talk peace in America. When they come back, go to them. Go and ask them what was decided. So we are building those relationships with different groups, for-profit organizations, non-profit organizations, and whatnot. Then the business development and entrepreneurship support for financial inclusion, access to affordable and adaptable services, markets, and improved resilience. So we need money. We have ideas. And so just letting the market work for us, figuring out how we can have money and keep money and grow wealth is our main thing. And so this is our strategic plan, the core objective of our strategic plan. It ends at the end of 2026. We are challenging ourselves that between now and end of 2026, before we get to the review of that strategic plan, we want to have marks on each of these. And for all that we have done, we have made progress on each of these in very little but meaningful ways. I want to say to all of you tonight, thank you so much for standing with us. So much is yet to be done. We've made connections. We didn't want to register the organization here in Columbus or in Ohio. We registered in Liberia. We registered in New York. And so in these three places, we want to be able to make sure we are grounded and everything. And then generally, we hope that together we can make the story more beautiful for the next decade that will come up. But we just want to say thank you. Nothing else. We call you here today to listen to the story. If you didn't know too much about it, listen to the story and then just walk together. Thank you so much. And yeah, I'll be there.
I'm telling you, Pandora, I like to thank you for all.
This is Apex One Radio. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we are currently covering the 10th anniversary of the Business for Peace Community Development Foundation, taking place at Reynoldsburg, Ohio. Our reporters are on the ground and helping us to beam the images of that event on our digital devices. We'll be right back with you. Keep watching the images.
It can make a big difference. Let me tell you, I had to kind of jot this down. This is my responsibility. One of the things your husband always said, give of yourself. Make a difference in someone's life. This is what it's all about. Making a difference in someone's life. We come from different countries. We enjoy our lives here in America. We party, we go out to eat, we spend time with our children, we spend time with friends. What do you want to be known for? Finally face it. When someone comes up at your funeral, what are they going to say? Did you help one woman? Did you help several women? Can someone say, because of this organization, I am who I am today? Because of what they imparted in me, I can lead this group tomorrow. Her story is the story of so many women. They have an idea. They don't know where to go. She brings ideas together. She in her organization. And she makes a difference. Can we, as women, make a difference? I'm sure we can. And don't leave here today. One of the things she said, I don't know if this is on the program or anything. She said special remarks. I don't know what that is on. Yeah, that would be it. Okay. She said, we have ideas. We bring people together. But we need money. An idea cannot really come out if you don't have dollars to support your idea. She said, I planted a seed. What was your seed? $150. Look how many lives she touched with $150. I am giving you $150. My first seed. I say first. Because moving on.
Meantime, thank you so much. If you're just joining us, this is a live broadcast devoted to the 10th anniversary celebration of the Business for Peace Development Foundation, and we are in Columbus, Ohio. The event is taking place at Runnersburg City, and we will be joining our reporter shortly, perhaps for some interviews, which we're definitely going to be having on this show. Let us find out if Danlette Washington is ready for some information, or we just continue watching the images of that event. As a matter of fact, the CEO of that organization is on the rostrum now. Let's listen to her.
Our email address. We also have the donate button. Please visit, see more. By the 10th anniversary, we will update that site. And also, Cash App. You can Cash App. My number is what I'm using for. The Zelle is what I'm using for the organization. The email goes to the organization, but I also accept money and transfer it to the organization. Thank you.
And before you leave, we know you're going to go to the website. We know you're going to do Cash App.
Everybody on the brochure.
We have something going around so people can put their names down of their intent. It's not forced, but of your intent to donate. So when things come through, she knows what she can have a running record of what who's donating, and she can say from this program here, we have 10 people who wanted to, and it's going to donate. I'm going to, can I have a program or?
Yeah, Amy did take down names, and when we planned the program, the idea was to just tell the story and attract people. like the question you gave because there was someone here earlier and we will follow up who had asked where she can donate. Right. And I told her to get to the website. The plan was to also just put in the Zelle information just in case. But we have the link. We don't, but with the link, we'll follow up with everybody. But yeah, so if you want to share, to give with to the foundation, I will follow up with you. Please send me a message. We also have the names, and then if you want to open the make a pledge here, you are also please also feel free. But we wanted it to just be a moment of storytelling and Thanksgiving.
Even though she wants it to be a moment of storytelling, if you are so moved, and the reason I say this, I have to come up front to tell you why I say this. Because when we hear the story, we are so engaged. It touches our heart. But once we walk out that door and we turn CNN, NBC, the Ohio State game, which is on right now, I think, make a big sacrifice. I'm here because I'm not watching the Ohio State game. Your interest will start to dwindle. So while you're here, if you are so moved, please do it now while you're here.
I would like to know about the 50,000.
Huh?
I would like to know about the.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We have $300 now. If you are so moved, she's going to double it. She's going to double. I mean, you got somebody writing this down? She's giving it to us now. Anybody who is so moved, you don't have to, you have the information. But if you're so moved, please make your donation today or let her know how moved you were of this story and make a donation. Their work cannot be done on words alone. Hey, hey, over there, Lenora, it says Yvette.
I would donate 150 as well.
150.
Oh,
Lenora, she says Yvette, 150 as well. Anybody else? Before we move on. It's no force, and I'll stay on it for a minute more. Who else? Who else? Look at that lady over there. Everybody, Yvette. And the Bon Conte president, he is so moved. Bon Conte, 100 starting. Back there, 100 starting. Yes, sir. I saw you stood up, sir.
I told you those things too.
I saw you stood up.
I see the
Me? Oh, no. I was just trying to stress my last She knows, no, she knows already. We have a plan for $5,000 from May. So the business, hopefully it might be ready December. So it's already in process and she will receive that $5,000.
Okay, great. Okay, I will not. Thank you. Force anybody. You have anybody else? Okay. Yeah. So we've done that. We just have one person. We'll just short. It's just anyone. Yeah. So we just have one. Anybody. Anybody wants to speak? Anybody? No, that's okay. So who will represent that? The person is here. She's here. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. So we'll do that. We'll do this, but just quickly. I just wanted to say also that Joyce has agreed to join us on the board. When I went to the funeral, she was like, I think I should join the board. And I said, I like that, Joyce. And so we spoke the other day, and she said, but I want to say yes, but I don't know what I can give. And I said, Joyce, just come. And then she said, well, I'm a human resource, expert. I have skills. And I said, what? For the last 10 years, we've had no one on human resources. And I said, that's exactly one of the things we need. So welcome on board. So I'll be speaking with her so that we do her onboarding so that she understands clearly what she's going into. But she has said yes, and we are very excited. Yeah, I don't know where to stand. give, give of yourself, your husband's words. Time, make a difference in someone's life. You already know what you're going to do. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So now we're going to the Liberian. Right now, we need a speaker from the Liberian community. I think we have the executive director in the house, Miss Executive Director. Come to the podium, please. I said it right. She's my boss, so I don't know why she has me doing the talking. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I know time is far spent, but first I want to say congratulations to our dear sister, Laura. What's it called? So our dear sister in the B4P family. You guys have done well. 10 years is a long time. 10 years is a long time to hold anything together, especially a nonprofit organization, where you're basically what you're giving is of yourself, your time, your efforts, sometimes your own personal resources. It's a long time. So we want to say congratulations to you and your team. We want to say as a community, as a Liberian community, you're in Columbus. We are very proud of what you guys have done and what you're continuing to do. We're extremely proud of you. When I was when I got her text message, I was looking and her the thing for this year said rooted and rising, and so my mind started wandering on rooted and rising. Obviously, in order for you to have roots or gain roots, you have to be planted, right? So if you're planted on good soil, it's guaranteed that you're going to grow some roots. And it looks like 10 years you guys have been literally building some good roots. And we just want to encourage you guys to continue to do that. When we think about rising, we're looking at where you guys are projected to go, what it is that you want to accomplish, what it is that you want to achieve, and how women can come around and accompany that, right? Accomplish that. That doesn't mean that the men are being kicked to the side. It just means that the way in which this organization moves is a little bit different, right? That's all that means. So I just want to say, as we say congratulations on your 10 years, and we look for you guys to rise, which you will do. We're expecting that, we're anticipating that. As we look for you guys to rise, just know that we are doing it together as a community. We're doing it together as a community here in Columbus. We're doing it together as a community in Kentucky. We're doing it as a community in Rowan County. We're doing it as a community all across wherever we can say business for peace, wherever we can say be for peace, go found. So once more again, congratulations. I know we're supposed to end at 9 o'clock. We have remarks. Would say anyone, and can you keep it to 2 minutes? Who wants to make a remark? Who was so moved they just want to make a remark? And then we have one thing we'll have to do, and then we're out of here. Anybody who feels so moved to come up here and say something? Okay. So everybody has eaten, they've heard, and they're ready to go. So we won't say anything else. But we have a birthday song to sing. Yep. Where's the cake? We will take please, let's take a group photo. We have one birthday honor to make, and then we take a group photo right here, and then that will be it. And men are here to support, and men, we need your dollars as well. So thank you for coming and have a safe ride home. Thank you.
Dr. Aja Johnson celebrated her birthday yesterday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Aja. Happy birthday to you. All right. Please come. Yeah, we got group photo. Can we all come up here for a group photo, please? Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Group photos here, please. We can do that quickly.
Sorry.
Group photo, well, the men not many, so group photo, please.
We are coming. The ladies are coming.
Yeah, everybody please come. You have to be in the picture. Like the people in Liberia gotta see you.
Y'all can see, all the woman I do for me, oh. I pay a blessing to put me and I get out of the door, you make God made a way, make my enemy kind of way. They wanna want to down, they think we connected. Me, oh, they used to tell me, I mean, they're telling me, okay, they opening for me to pass. All I know is looking down on me. If I see the show, your own body show. Let me at the day, tell me answer. You so put your leg on, tell me what's that. Just let them down to your grave. Baby, I do as you say. Yeah. You can see. All the good I do for me. Baby, your blessing to come to me. And I get out of the door. You open door, you get away. Make my enemy challenge me. They will never know. Listen, people next
I'm feeling the vibes with originalhits.com.
Please play that music again.
Rock solid connection, no weak signal, no missed shots. The Connect Max 2.0 auto switches service
Rescue because everyone is in the pool and there is no way I'm going to brush your happy to get everything right now. Great.
Killer, he over there playing. We can come this way to get it like.
Yeah, I'm asking if the light was.
From the United States of America. Welcome back to this last segment of our current um, live coverage of the 10th anniversary of the Business for Peace Community Development Foundation. The event is coming to a close, but we cannot leave without talking to the founder of that organization, Lindora Howard Jawaran, who has journeyed across with this organization for the past 10 years. Like you said, it was created in 2015. And so the event is coming to a close, but we'll talk with the organizer before we run off this edition of the show. All right, so let us see if our reporter is ready. Danlette, are you ready? Over to you. Okay, looks like she's muted. Danlette, unmute yourself. And if you are ready, then we'll come back to her, of course. Once again, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We are gradually but steadily moving to the end of this live broadcast, which was devoted to the coverage of the 10th anniversary of the Business for Peace Community Development Foundation. The event has been taking place at Rennersburg here in Ohio, precisely at the 120 Wagona Road venue. Well, looks like our reporter is ready with her guest. Let us go back to Rennersburg and find out what new information we have from that end. Apparently, Danlette has the founder of Business for Peace Community Development Foundation, which celebrates its 10th anniversary today. Danlette, if you are listening to me, over to you.
Thank you so much. So we just concluded the Business for Peace Community Development Foundation 10th anniversary celebration, and it was a success. And I feel excited to be here with the founder, and I know she's excited, so we'll go straight to her. How do you feel exactly after tonight?
I feel re-energized. Re-energized in the sense that a lot of the people that came, we had stories to tell. At the foundation will actually be 10 years old in December, but we're not going to be here. We will be in Liberia to celebrate. And so all of those that walked along with us here in Columbus, that have been supporting us, encouraging us, tonight was just a moment to tell them thank you and tell them about where we've come from, where we are heading, and arouse their interest to pay more attention to what we are doing, to support us, and to join the bandwagon. And so I'm so excited that so many people showed up, and we've gotten some real good feedback.
A question for Lindora. Lindora, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. It's a little low, but yeah, I can hear you.
All right. So, Lindora, if I were at the inception of this organization 10 years ago, the question I would have asked you is, where do you expect to see the Business for Peace and Community Development Foundation in the next 10 years? Now, 10 years down the road, if there was one story, one successful story you were asked to tell about this organization, what would that story be?
One successful story is that we've been able to mobilize across 3 different areas. So we are registered in Ohio, we are registered in New York, we are registered in Liberia. We've managed to engage and hold consultations in Mali, in West Africa. Online, we have attracted people from Canada, from other countries on the African continent. And so the story is out there. We have a couple of people following. We have a lot of people saying to us, we want to be a part, or how can we be a part of this? People now understand, they continue to understand exactly what we are up for. And we see more and more people trying to get involved.
I do understand that this did not come so easily. 10 years is not 10 days. It's definitely 10 years of resilience. What is one big challenge that this organization encountered during these 10 years of existence?
The biggest challenge, aside from funding, because it's always a big issue for people, for organizations growing, but the biggest challenge was that because one, we didn't have funding to really have paid staff. Like 10 years, I've not taken any salary. I've been investing my own money, along with a lot of the other volunteers that have come in. When you have a lot of volunteers working with you and you have a mission to follow, most times people are busy, they have their own lives. The commitment level is kind of low. There are some that have committed extra time. There are others who just say, I just can't because of my job. So for example, we've had 2 program directors. The first program director that we had literally left because she had a job with the government in Philadelphia and she didn't have time to keep on. And we didn't have the money to compete. We can't compete with the government. We recently had announced a second who lives in Germany, but I've worked with in Liberia, and she was willing to put in some time. But unfortunately, the laws there are quite restrictive. There are certain things you can do and certain things you cannot do, especially if you're not a citizen. And so we had a lot of challenges, and we couldn't pay her, like give her a real job to be able to really show to the government that she was doing something. As a result, she had to step back. So it's been really difficult getting all of our volunteers to really put in at least 5 hours a week. There are some who would commit that, but there are just some. So we have names, we have faces, they come in from time to time. And once they are not there, I will have to shoulder it. I'm the executive director, I'm the finance manager, I'm literally doing everything else. And so it's been a big challenge, but hey, we've made it so far.
When you talk with the women who have been impacted by this organization, and of course the girls, and even your partners, your donors, your well-wishers, what is it that they tell you about about this organization? Are they satisfied with the partnership you have had with them?
They tell me that what we are doing is good. They like it, and they want to be involved. They want to continue it because they've seen the vision. Because this, what we've done is based on evidence. We have seen the issues in the field. We have lived it. And so trying to tackle the issues as problem solvers, they know that we are not playing politics. They know that we mean well. And we are really talking about the issues that are also real to everybody, to us, to them. And so once they understand what we stand for, we see a lot of people raising their hands. So as I speak to you, like I said, in Bon County, there are 33 groups across 12 districts where we have our office that have been mobilized. They've not just put their hand up to say they want to be members, they have come with money. And in December, when we go to celebrate, we are having a 3-day conference from December 11th through the 13th. And so the women and youth are now being mobilized to come to that conference. They are also planning on what they're going to bring from their farms, their produce, how much they're going to bring, and how they want that. They've set the agenda. I asked them, what 3 things do you want to talk about at the conference in December? They've said to me, education, health, and agriculture. Those are the things that they want to talk about, and we've built our agenda around that. And so I'm just excited that there are more people that tell me we understand, we see where you're going with the organization, we want to be a part.
There's no way this organization would have operated for 10 years without learning some lessons, including the hard ones. What are some of the lessons you've learned this far?
One of the lessons that I've learned this far is that people get skeptical when you go to them with a mission or a vision because they don't understand it, and they kind of drag along because they don't understand it. So when they are skeptical about you, I've said to myself, well, I just have to do more every time. Like, for example, I had reached out to one prominent foundation here in Columbus to see if I would even just have a meeting with them. And the lady would not give me, she would not give me audience. She wouldn't just meet with me. And for simple reasons, she said, I've been to your website. There's no evidence that you're doing anything or that you work in Columbus. Just for that. And so I just said to myself, so I said to my, to our partner that we work with for our website, I said, hey, we need to improve our site, put up a lot of the things that we've been doing so that they see that there's something happening. But I shared that feedback. And so it was a real big hit for me because I never saw that coming. And so to not even have a meeting or have an audience with me, that was really shocking. So, but there are so many different lessons that we've learned. I also have learned that basically with all of the challenges or issues we try to deal with, many others are struggling to deal with it as well. So when we tell our story, we talk about where we want to head or what we are working on, they immediately identify with us and want to join the team.
Two last and very short questions. If we were to go 10 years back, would you still think that creating this organization was worth the salt?
Yes. Creating this organization, yes, it's still meaningful. I see every day, and it's still a big lesson that I'm learning. And the fact that it's evidence-based, a lot of research time has gone into it. For example, we work on the issues of peace building and economic development. So just looking at that and the nexus between the two, our name says Business for Peace Community Development Foundation. We try to get an account, a nonprofit account, for example, with Canva. We understand that they do have special accounts for nonprofits. They wouldn't allow us to have a nonprofit account for the simple reason that we have business in our name and economic development. They have a different idea. So I've also learned that people understand words differently. And that's something I knew before, but in different sectors, I see it. And because they understand it differently, they probably think I want to use their platform or we want to use their platform to make money, which is not the case. But looking back, because of what we saw, the gaps that we are trying to fill, every day it becomes clearer and clearer that we're on the right path.
So this is a milestone. What is the next step for the next milestone?
The next milestone we have I announced during the program that we have a 3-year strategic plan. The third year will end at the end of 2026. We have 6 strategic goals. Every strategic goal, we try to walk and make some headways under each of those. What we're going to look at over the next year, is to make sure we do a lot to kind of elevate the support or the kind of support that we have for young people. We've seen that a lot of young people are becoming attracted. We are also attracted to what we do. We are also seeing that they are in the technology or digital literacy field. How we work with them to engage with the women and support the work we want to do is one big thing. We have a group that we've identified groups that we think we want to support. So fundraising to support the initiatives. For example, there's a group that work with children. They work with over 500 children from 1 to 6 years old. They call it the group. They call them the Children Reading Competition in Liberia in Bond County. They have radio programs. They're just working with those children to build their capacity across the different communities to be able to become leaders. And we want to see how we can support them through working through our cooperative. So there are a lot of others. There are young people doing so many things. There are women doing so many things, men doing so many things. Coming together to strengthen the cooperation in Liberia is one thing that we're really going to look at. But at the same time, we have the Columbus Women Connect here in Columbus to see how, as women leaders, we can improve, enhance our work and continue to support each other and become more visible and vocal in terms of the things we do.
Lindra, thank you so much. Over to you, Danlette.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Earlier on, you mentioned when you tried to create a special account with Canvas, there was a hold up because of the name or the word business into it. Have you had any thought on changing or amending the name because of that, or moving forward?
Well, no, because and it's an interesting question because, for example, when we developed the strategic plan, we had an American review our strategic plan. And one of the things he said to me, when I saw your name, B4P CODEFOUND, it sounded like a tech company. Do you might want to consider changing it? And so for me, we have a reason why we called it. That CODEFOUND, for example, is the short form for Community Development Foundation. And so it's part of our name. If someone thinks it's a tech company, well, that's what they think. We don't have to change because of that, because if we follow what everybody think it should be, we'll keep changing. And so we have our goal, we have our mission, we have our reason for existing. And so we've held on to that. Eventually, maybe somewhere down the line in the future, if the board and everybody else decide, well, we've come this far and we think we want to learn from this and move forward, then that could be a possibility. But for time being, no.
Thank you. And I just want to say congratulations to you and your team on 10 years. I know
Thank
it
you.
wasn't easy, and
my
we hope to be
goodness.
here to see another 10 years,
Yes,
20 more
by the
years.
grace of
and
God, we
decades.
will get there. Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you, Ernest. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you, Apex One Radio.
Thank you so much. That was the founder and CEO of Business for Peace, Community Development and Community Development Foundation. So, Danlette, perhaps would have your last assessments from that end before we run off. So, generally, how would you rate this 10th anniversary celebration?
I would say it was a massive success, and as the agenda of today was to not just celebrate but to also recognize, because when it comes to such organization like this, celebrating 10 years is not easy, and it's not one person's work. It takes a lot of people. It takes a village to make 10 years so happy and for the kind of work that they have been doing. And so today, the organization recognized some board members, some volunteers, some people within the community, to just recognize them for the support and for the work that they have done within the organization, because it's a voluntary work and people have other things to do. They have work, they have school, and they still try to make time to volunteer and to be able to help Lindora's vision to make sure that it come through. And so tonight, it was amazing. We had speeches from different community leaders, from volunteers, and then dinner was served. And after that, we had some celebration. As of now, the event has ended. And there was a fundraising also right at the event. A lot of people started to donate money to the organization vision, and so it was a success. They raised funds, and now it's just celebration. People are in the hall and dancing and singing and having a good time.
Well, thank you so much, Danlette. We've actually had much information flowing in from that end. We can only say congrats to that organization on a great job it's been doing, especially within the past 10 years. And like she said, they'll be heading for Liberia for another celebration. That will be in December, correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. So, Danlette, want to thank you so much. We'll probably come back to this story in our subsequent editions on Apex One Radio. You will just probably just retire and have a nice rest of the weekend.
Thank you.
All right. Do have a fantastic time. Bye for now. And so, for those of you out there who were with us throughout this broadcast that lasted almost 3 hours, time flies. So, thank you so much from producer Marcel and the entire Apex One radio team, including MC Leo, who was here for moral support. We want to say thank you so much. A special congratulations to the Business for Peace Community Development Foundation that celebrates its 10th anniversary. We'll probably come back to that story and follow up on it, especially when that organization travels to Liberia to celebrate for yet another celebration of its 10th anniversary. My name is Ernest Kanjo. Do have a fantastic rest of the weekend. At exactly 10 p.m., we are now shutting down our cameras. But you can keep listening to programs on Apex One Radio on www.apex1radio.com. Bye for now, and may God bless you.